we'll move on to Pathfinder. Now, Pathfinder is probably one of the most requested reports we tend to see in prospect sales, projects, and so on. So this is a really handy report that Amplitude provides here. Now let's build it so we can see what it looks like. So let's, in essence, what we're going to look here, we're going to look at different paths users are taken, typically grouped, to get to some kind of action. So let's start with, let's imagine that a user views an ad, and then we want to see the second and the third steps. So after a user views an ad, so they fire this event, what happens? Where do they go, right? What kind of events are they firing? So down here, we get our path analysis report here. You might have seen these other tools. What's handy here is we get a lot of ability to filter this and customize this quite a bit, right? So we have, for example, the first path. After they view an ad, about 75% of all the events then go on and skip the ad, right? And then after that, about 26% of those, they go and complete a browse for an item, right? So now we start to see a little bit of path. And of course, we can keep adding steps, right? Steps and steps and steps to try to build a more complete path for specific users, right? So we can do like that. We can do it with starting that, or maybe we want to look at let's say complete purchase, but instead of starting with that, we're gonna finish with it. This is a very common question, right? Companies want to say, what are users doing before they sign up for a subscription, right? Before they make some kind of purchase event. So same thing. Now we get a complete purchase, and we get a few items before. In this case, we view the cart, we add items to the cart, we view item details, and we can keep going back and forth. They come from the main landing, they view search results, they come from notifications, right? We start to get a sense of what is the flow users are taking to do some kind of special action in the product, right? You have a few more advanced options, right? We're hiding some events. You might have some events, for example, maybe some screen views that are irrelevant, that might be happening in between events that aren't really needed. So we do some of that, and we can of course hide any specific interaction. For example, we can ask Amplitude to recompute this chart without including this event. We might say, hey, I know we have a checkout flow, right? So I know that they're gonna go check out, and then they're gonna look at the cart, and they're gonna add an item to the cart. I know all that. So let's instead just remove all of that. All right, we know we're gonna have to add something to the cart, and we know that they're probably gonna need to view the item to add it to the cart. So from there, let's just show me the stuff before that, right? So we start to get a better idea of the different events of that. So this is a way for us to filter. Once again, we can also filter by any kind of user property, specific events, and so on. Right. We can also create a little bit more actual specific funnels, right? We may say, hey, this is our first 3 steps. I want to see what happens after that, right? So we have a lot of options here around how to use Pathfinder, and it's very quick, very fast, and you can start to explore a lot of the really questions around how users are proceeding through the app at any given point.